Hello and welcome to the Wiltshire Caravans handover video for this Coachman VIP 520. As always, I'm going to go around the outside first, show you how everything goes outside. As you can see, you can actually see me for a change, it's very unusual. Normally I'm very well hidden behind the camera, but I've got my YTS trainee cameraman helping out today. So coming around to the back to start with, as I always do, it's just very, very simple. You've got a highline brake light, you've got your light clusters there for your indicators, reversing lights, running lights and brake lights and fog lights. Also place for your number plate, and then down here each side you've got your corner steadies. Okay, most important thing at the back of here is so first thing we get to on the offside is the most important job. It's the toilet area. So all of the Coachmans have the area for the flush reservoir. So that's for your pink fluid. Some people do. Some people just use water. It's entirely up to you what you do. In the past, I've just used an old 2-litre pop bottle. Just fill it up, put your little bit of pink in if you're going to use that, and top it up. You'll know when you need to fill it up again because it won't flush. Nothing will come out. Okay. Talking of the flush, you'll know when you need to empty this cassette. This is the standard Thetford cassette. You'll know when you need to empty it because as light comes on by the toilet flush inside. I'll show you that when we get to it. So, emptying your cassette. So, literally just lift the handle and pull it straight out towards you. You don't need to do anything particularly spectacular, but that's your cassette there. It does have a handle, so you can walk around and take the pee. So you'll see a lot of people on sites will mention that particular, but they might use a bit more of a profanity. Right, so to empty, forward with this nozzle here, remove the cap. Put that somewhere safe. You don't want that falling into the receptacle that you're about to pour everything in, because you will have to go and get it. Okay, that will in turn, your arm will look like a brown blue Smurf. Don't do it. Okay, so put that somewhere safe out of the way. To empty, literally just pick it up, put it over the hole, and press this button to release any air pressure. That should help the flavour flood out, so to speak. You'll then want to rinse out. Now, I always say put the cap back on, slide the slider, I suppose, and open that. So I don't know if you're going to be able to see that. There's a float inside, just down there. That float just lifts, and once that's at its top of its zenith, that's when you need to empty. To be fair, you do have probably a wee or two left in there, but I wouldn't recommend leaving it to that point. I would say go and empty it. But anyway, so to rinse it out, there's always a bit of a hose pipe. Push in, make sure you close everything up, give it a bit of a swirl round, and then repeat the process. Take that off, repeat the process. Okay. You'll want to put some blue fluid in here, blue or green, depending on the green is the organic side. On this cap, there are measurements. So read the bottle that you're using, specific bottle you're using, and put as much in as you want. Sometimes you'll need to dilute it. I only ever used to go for a wee in mine, so I never bothered diluting it because I was always going to do that fairly quickly. Anyway. Okay. Now, and literally once it's empty, make sure that's all closed up again and just slide that back into place. And that clamps in. There's one other thing to show, and this is particularly important for winterizing. Now, there's a tube up here, if I can get the thing. That literally open the bung, have a bucket with you, open the bung, and that will release any fluid you've got in your flush reservoir. As I said, particularly for winterizing, absolutely vital. Another thing, make sure you lock this. I'm only saying that because if anyone else has dropped their cap down the hole and don't want to go and get it, they might want to go and get yours. So just in case. Okay. So next part, we've got the 2 waste outlets. So that's for the for your kitchen sink and the bathroom sink, and for the shower unit. So that goes into a waste master unless you're on a fully serviced pitch, in which case you might have your own designated drain. Okay, so alloy wheels, they've all got alloy wheels on them, torqued up to 130 Newton meters. There's I'll show you where the weight plate is that shows you or gives you all the measurements, etc. for that. Motor mover, well, we've got a separate motor mover video, and if you have a motor mover on your caravan, I'll send you that link to that video as well. Coming here, we've got the battery box. So, not surprisingly, dirty great big 110 amp AH battery there for you. There's your electric hookup. Here is the isolator for the motor mover. Now, it's placed here so you cannot engage the motor mover whilst you're plugged into the electrics. That's a good thing. You don't want to be particularly dragging along the pole that you've been connected to for a week behind the caravan as you're going away. You've also got in here 2 aerial points. So some sites do have, shall we say, patchy TV coverage, and they might have their own aerial. Okay. Water inlet. For this, I need to go and get my demo water pump. So give me 2 minutes, and I'll be back with you. Right. So water pump. Whale system on the Coachman caravans. So you've got the pump. This bit end goes into your water barrel. This bit goes into the caravan. So it slides up very simply. Just place it inside and click that down. Whilst when this is in the water pump, you've now got the ability to put water back into the caravan. And there's also a little clip for if you need to go and fill up your water barrel again. It will just stay in place. So this end doesn't fall on the floor and get covered in muck. I'm going to leave that there because hopefully in a little while when we get inside, you'll hear the pump run when I test it. Okay, this part here, so it's got the Alde central heating and hot water system. So that's the glycol and water wet system. Now, if you're using gas, this is the exhaust port for the gas. Okay, in there, one of your front corner steadies. Some people still do it manually, but get a drill. Drill in a bit, that's perfect. Moving around to the front. Okay, so 2 lockers. I think that's slightly unusual for Coachman. They have 2 lockers, one on either side. They don't have a main front locker like a lot of the brands do. So this side is just storage. So in here at the moment you've got the new electric lead and the torsion bar for the motor mover. So a bit of storage space there. On the other side, same size, but this is for your gas bottles. You can have 2 gas bottles. We recommend the 6 kilo propane. But, as you can see, get 2 bottles in there comfortably. Right, we are actually running, Coachman run their systems on the Alco chassis. As you can see, this has got the Alco ATC. Now, ATC is Alco Trailer Control. Basically, there is a sensor underneath the chassis. So if the caravan starts to move out of shape at all, it damps the brakes on to bring the caravan back to stability. Hopefully, the only time you will notice anything like with the ATC is if you're going over, say, a speed hump or a particularly bumpy road. The caravan might feel heavy for a couple of seconds, and that just shows you that everything's working. Okay, so the hitch, obviously we've got a hitch lock on it at the moment. I have a separate video for hitching up, so particularly if you're new to this, I will send you that link for the hitching up and also how to set up your caravan when you arrive on site. Okay, moving along. On the side here, we do have an external electric point. It's handy to run into your awning. We also have an external gas point. Now, that's really lovely. so you can have a Caddack or any other type of gas barbecue. The one thing I will say, please do not have a gas barbecue inside an awning. Flame and fabric are not best companions. Okay. Down here we've just got literally a storage area underneath the front bunk. You can just see under here we've got the Alde wheel lock, we've got the leg winder. Like I say, we've put them in here at the moment. You can put them wherever you like, really. Okay. These are just the fridge and freezer vents. Oddly enough, a wheel on the other side as well. Quite handy. Call me old-fashioned. Right, as I said before, when I was talking about the wheel nut torque, this is the weight plate. Now, this weight plate tells us who it's from, the model, the VIN. Now, that's, you hear it known as the CRIS number. It's also got the maximum plated weight, the MTPLM of 1550. So that is the heaviest this caravan is allowed to be with everything in it, all of your payload in it. Okay, bear in mind, you've already got 32 kilos of motor movers on here, which is taken off of the massive running order. So you're already up to 1440, leaving you with 110 kilos. So whilst that's a lot of pairs of pants and pairs of socks, it's worthwhile knowing. Also on here, it does tell you the tyre PSI or the bar. It's actually 65 PSI, so it's quite high. The wheel bolt torque, I could get my teeth in, I borrowed them off an idiot. The alloy for alloys is 130 Newton meters. For the spare, the steel is 88 Newton meters. This also gives the tyre size, etc. So that's really quite a handy thing to have. So basically for the outside, that is pretty much it for now. What we're going to do, go inside, have a quick tour, very quick tour, and then we'll do some instruction on how to use the control panels, etc. Okay, so inside, here we are, the Coachman VIP 520. Really spacious caravan, I have to say. I mean, some people say, oh, but it hasn't got hasn't got a fixed bed. That's not the end of the world. For living space, usable space in a caravan, you are not going to get much more than this. Fabulous. So let's go to the front. So the lounge area, this will go into a double bed by pulling these right out, then rearranging the cushions. I'm not going to show you any of that because I'll be here for a week. Or you can use them as two singles. They're a good 6 feet. So for me, that'd be absolutely fine. For anyone over 6 feet, chop yourself off at the ankles or knees, depending on how tall you are. Okay, but lovely sunroof. It's just a really, really nice caravan. Being the VIP range, it's only the second range up in the Coachman range, but believe me, it's a good a range as anything you'll find. I think that's my personal opinion. Each to their own. Okay, so obviously lounge area, nice kitchen area, good size area for food preparation. You've even got an extra flap to it's a beer flap, let's be perfectly honest, as in the side over here. This is where your TV would go. You've got your TV point here, you've got USB-Cs, and someone finally has got a decent USB size in a caravan, so happy days. But I will now go around, show you how to use everything. Don't know how this is going to work with my wonderful cameraman Danny. He's going to have to be over my shoulders. Lucky I'm so tall, otherwise he would no. Right, okay, so control panel. When you first come in, I'm going to turn everything off to start with. Turn it all off. Oh, that's on. Master off. Right, see, this is a really very clear system, this Coachman system. So power on, main power on, master on. It tells you what you're doing, okay, so which is brilliant. Here we've got various settings. To select settings, this is always your enter button. So you can change the display, you can change the sound if you wish to do so. Auto pump off, leave that. Notifications I don't think I've ever had any from it, and the firmware you won't need to change. The only thing you're likely to want to change is the sound, which you can enter keytones on or off. Press enter. Oh, I see the alarm tone. I can't see. I've got my glasses on. I can't see a thing. So I change it. Keytones off. Change. But always, to change anything, you need to save and exit. That means that beeping won't go on now. So if the customer wants the beeping on, we'll have to put it back on. Okay. You've also got, it will tell you the internal temperature, 20 degrees. It feels more like 25 in here at the moment. The leisure voltage, the amount of power we have available at the moment is 13.7 volts. Doesn't surprise me, we're plugged into the mains, so that's okay. And then just the time. That isn't the time. Believe me, I'm not here at 2 o'clock in the morning or 10 past 2 in the morning. Okay, to change the time, enter, etc, etc. Or you could go up, entirely up to you which way you want to go. Press enter. Again, it's not 4 o'clock, it's not 4:15 in the morning, but I will set this up before the customer arrives. Lights, internal lights. So if you have a quick look around, I'll have a on and off moment. So you can see the lights coming on and off. There are lots of individual lights, which I'll show you shortly, that aren't actually on this part of the system, but I will show you those shortly. Awning light, says awning on, awning off. It tells you what you're doing, so you can't go wrong. As I said earlier, when I put the water pump into the side of the caravan, hopefully you'll be able to hear it, but I'm not entirely sure. But when you want to start pumping water in, make sure, and I'll show you where the drain down valves are shortly, that the drain downs are closed and all your taps are off. But then when you would press the tap, I can hear it, but I don't think the microphone will pick that up. But it says pump running, pump off. It really is a very simple system. I was saying about the drain down valves. Now I've got to dig in underneath the cushion here. So give me a minute and I'll be with you. Right, okay, so cushion's away. Lift up this front bench. First thing you'll see, that's the Alde Compact 3030 water heater boiler, combi boiler, just epic. About 10 litres of hot water stored, but it has been a combi boiler. As you draw water through it, it heats up beautifully. But what I want to show you, and I'm not sure how easy it is to get there, we've got 2 drain down valves in here. So there's 2 little yellow taps. There's one for the cold water and there's one for the hot water. It's one of those things, I think it's a lot easier to show actually when we're doing the handover to someone. But both of those, while they're in the vertical position, while they're pointing straight up, no hot water or no water has come into this system. If you were to put your barrel of water in and then do the turn the pump on and open the taps, the water would just go straight out onto the floor. Okay, so when you're going to put water in, just snap them down so they're horizontal, and that way the water will come in. Make sure you've also closed your taps, so your kitchen sink tap, bathroom taps and shower tap, before you start pumping water in. Otherwise it gets a bit spluttery, a bit messy. But it's one of those things. When you're draining down, and my recommendation is to drain down on every trip. So I know some people don't, but I would say drain down on every trip, and that's only because you're carrying extra weight. So your fuel efficiency will suffer for having an extra, say, 10 kilograms of water in the tank, another 5 probably in the pipe, so you're carrying around an extra 15 kilos. So, but particularly for winter, and I cannot stress this enough, for winter, make sure all the water is out of this caravan. So lift those taps to the vertical, open up your bathroom taps, your shower and your kitchen tap, make sure all the water just drains out. I cannot stress that firmly enough. If you do leave them closed and there's water in there and they freeze over winter, No warranty in the world will cover you for that, so please be aware of that. Also in here we've got the PDU. You won't be able to see it from the top really, so if I lift that flap down, so you've got your fuse box, your fuses and your breaker switches. Chances are, if you overload the pole or how much electricity you've got available to you, it's normally the pole that will go pop. So check that first, but if that's all right, then please come and check there. Other than that, this blue box here is for the motor mover. You will have nothing to do with that. You've also got the gas isolators down here on the front, currently in the open position. If you're using propane, you can just turn everything off at the bottle, which is what I do, and then just light up a gas burner for half a second just to clear any excess gas. But if you are running on butane and you don't have that turn off option, you can just use the isolators there. Okay, so I have spoken about the Alde central heating system and hot water system in here. This is the Alde panel. Power on, very simple, power is on. It comes up with its Alde compact. And first screen, this shows you the big numbers are what the actual temperature you require. The little numbers above that are what the actual temperature is at the moment. Now, to change, it's just like a thermostat at home. To change the system down or up to whatever temperature you want it to be in here. It's a very simple system, and wherever you leave this, you could turn it off, turn the caravan off, all the power, take it home or go somewhere else, plug it in, and it will remain on 20 degrees as it's showing there. Okay, there is an option, or there are many options on here about using day modes, etc. If you press menu twice, you can go into night mode, day mode, so you can actually change all the parameters within here. You can set timers and then set the indoor temperature you want. There's so many things you can do here, which is why I've sent you the link from Alde themselves for this system. If you're anything like me, and I'm a little bit of a numpty to be fair, all I ever did was when I got to this point at night, I say, okay, I'm just going to turn it down. That's because I'm lazy, but this works for me. Okay, so that is to set the temperature. Menu will get you to this screen. So indoor temperature, that's what we've set, so we've already seen that. Now, what fuel are we going to use? We've got the energy icon, we've got gas or electric. So we're currently on max electric 3 kilowatts. You can use 2 kilowatts, you can use 1 kilowatt. Obviously you can turn it off if you're in the middle of a field, or you can have it used as gas, turn it on gas. On and off, he says, hopefully. However, 1 kilowatt. Now, 1,000 watts will take an awfully long time to heat this system up. I would suggest firmly, I mean, so if your electricity is included in your pitch price, I would literally go up to 2 kilowatts and keep it on that. However, if people are starting to charge for electric now, I would suggest 2 kilowatts to heat everything up, but then to maintain the temperature, just drop it down to 1 kilowatt. And also, depending on how many amps you've got on site, if you only have say 10 amps on site, well, 2 kilowatts is about 8.8 amps, I think. So you're almost at your level there. So get everything warm, bring it down to 1 kilowatt, so 4.4 amps, and at that point you can then use your kettle, your microwave, without fear of tripping the system. But there's lots of things on this system. Like I said, energy, gas or electric. The hot water side of it, so we get to that screen, the hot water side, press on hot water, currently off, the option is on. So yeah, or boost. Now if you boost it, so you've got 30 minutes of boost. I'm going to turn it off because there's no water in there at the moment. Now that 30 minutes of boost will take all the power that we're using on this system alone, so all the power from this, into the hot water, just to speed up the hot water. That will take away all the energy from the heating, so your heating in effect for that 30 minutes will go off. If you're in the middle position in on, that will give you enough hot water 99% of the time. I've never had to boost it. I've just always kept it there, and it's been absolutely fine. I'm just turning it off now. Like I said, we haven't got any water in it at the moment. But the menu, there are lots and lots of things to look at. Various pages, sensor calibration, etc, etc. You won't need to do anything with that. Display, that might be interesting for you, because you might find this bright at night. You can turn the brightness down to low. The status page, normal or inverted or dark, so it literally goes away. But most of the time, if it's at that level, that's probably okay. And it's not going to be in your direct eye line when you're asleep, unless you're sleeping on this bunk, in which case you might want to invert the colours or just send it dark. Hopefully that's clear as mud. Remember, if you've got any questions about this or any of the caravans that we have, do give us a call, 01373 752 100, option 1 for sales. And if there's anything we can help you with, more than happy to do so. Okay, one thing I did forget to mention when we're talking about the Alde system, it runs on the glycol and water, so a mixture of antifreeze and water, basically. Hello again. So it won't freeze during winter, so you don't need to drain that down. The reservoir is in here in the bathroom cupboard, one of the bathroom wardrobes. That's the reservoir there, pink fluid, so it gets checked. It should have a 5-year lifespan on it, so don't panic about anything like that. If it does show on the level at around about minimum when it's cold, that is absolutely fine. It doesn't need to be any more than that, because at that point it will it does expand when it heats up, so you don't need to worry about too much on that. Right, okay, so the cooker, we've got the Thetford, I don't know if it's split level, it's certainly not split level, but you've got a separate grill and oven, very nice. Light for the oven, very pretty. The hobs, you've got 1 electric hob and 3 gas burners. Now, whilst I'm fairly certain that the electric hob will not go on when the glass top is down, I can never be 100% sure. So, in order to prevent anything happening with this being knocked by accident and then turning that on, we do have under here a plug. This plug, unplugged at the moment, goes in there, and that's just for the electric hob part of it. Okay, so we don't plug them in. To be fair, not a lot of people use the cookers to their full potential in a caravan anyway. But so that's an isolator for it. Everything else is running on gas. So there's your spark, and that spark is the same for all of the rest of the parts of the appliance. Okay, I will remind you, please don't put the glass lid down when anything's hot. You don't really want to shatter anything. Okay, microwave. Yes, we've got one. I'm not going to teach anyone how to use a microwave. I'm just going to let you know that it is there. Obviously, you'll have a book with it. It's not that complicated as a microwave. However, it also has an isolator. What do we call it? An isolator? It is called a plug. It just goes in up there, if I can reach. As you can see, it comes on, does a little diagnostic. Microwave it is. It's quite high up, I'm sure you're a shorty like me. But there's the instruction books on that. Very nice. Flatbed, so you do not have the rotating plate. That's a good thing. It means you don't have to worry about removing it when you're traveling. This is one of the lovely things about a Coachman, and I know I'm a child, but just soft close does it as it's supposed to be. Absolutely love that. Okay, so sink, taps, mixer taps. When I mentioned the hot water earlier, right, possibly one of the most important things in here is the fridge. So turn the power on, that switch there. You've got options currently showing on battery. Now that it doesn't mean to say you're going off your leisure battery. That is trying to use the car battery. Well, not the car battery, but the alternator. So when you're plugged into the car, as long as you've got a 13 pin or 2 7s, the fridge should work whilst you're traveling. However, there is a caveat to that. The fridge already needs to be cold. So if you're leaving it in storage, it's not going to be cold already. If you've taken it home, have it in store, get it cold for a couple of days, and then you can carry on. However, to change that, he says, thank you, hold and press, keep and press that down, then you can move it. That's electric. Move it across, automatic, that's my favorite. You can move it again to gas, so if you're out in the middle of nowhere, you can run it on gas, and again to electric. My favorite is the automatic. Once it's on automatic, this is just going to do the temperature. Bear with me, I'll show you the temperatures as well. Once it's on automatic, it will immediately go to the electric if you've plugged into the mains, or if you're plugged into the car, it will immediately go to the car battery side of it. Very, very simple. The display just goes off, don't worry. It's not turned itself off. But that is the fridge. Decent sized fridge. Nice little freezer compartment for the ice for your gin and tonics. Right, previously I did mention about when we were doing the hot water that you can, it's off, on or boost. There's no separate temperature changing for the hot water. It is hot. So it is vitally important that you use the mixer tap correctly. Do not go straight to hot and put it up, turn the tap on and think, oh, that'll be all right, because it will scald. So be very aware. So for both kitchen, bathroom, and particularly the shower, you don't really want to be hopping around in the shower. All right. You might think this looks a bit dark down here. And oh, I was telling you earlier about different lights. Okay, well this one, it's on this side, has a strip light underneath. I said, sure, I think, oh, that's too bright. Well, it does dim. It's a bit like me. It's a bit dim. So you've got a strip light here. You've also got a strip light on this side above the dinette. These individual lights, just touch once, you get the your outer ring will shine, and then touch again and you will completely shine. So yeah, there's light switches all over the place. You will find them. Yeah. Look at that. It was like watching a professional. Professional what? I'm not going to say. However, okay, so kitchen area. Obviously, we've got drawers. We have a drawer under here for the cutlery drawer in it. Here are your plugs. I'm relatively confident that everyone will notice this is a kitchen. Other things to take note of, I've said about your TV points. Your TV aerial is up here. So with the TV aerial, when you get on site and you're reversed perfectly onto your pitch and we're all plugged in and you're ready to watch a bit of TV, undo this top nut here. Lift your shaft and point it in the same direction that everyone else has got theirs pointed to, and then simply leave it up, tighten it up, but retune your TV. If you're always going to the same area, you won't need to retune it, but if you go to different areas, you will need to retune it every time. That's the amplifier for the TV and aerial. This little button here, possibly my favorite, also possibly my least favorite button. When we first got the Coachmans in, I looked over here and I thought, oh, it's a light switch. I was pressing back and forth, couldn't see anything going on. However, outside, above where your water inlet is, there is a light, a service light. So apart from me flashing on and off to people and just sending Morse code for saying I'm an idiot, I don't know what this button is, that is for your outside service light on your offside. Okay. Blinds. Let's show you the blinds. You've got blinds everywhere and they all work in the same way. So you have blackout blinds coming from the top, and then from the top again you have your fly screens. Okay, so blackout blinds, fly screens. Opening and closing of the windows. The side parts just pull out. The ones underneath, there's a button to press. Make sure you press that button, otherwise you'll be forcing things. open the window and tighten up these if you want to keep the window open. Hopefully that's clear as mud. But again, all the windows have the same type of catches. I'm going to take you into the bathroom with me. Right, so let's go into the bathroom now. You will see a horrible picture in front of you, and you think, oh my goodness, that's terrible. That's obviously the one behind me. I don't know if he's going to try and hide. He is. Don't blame him. Perfectly understandable. So, a bathroom is a bathroom. It does bathroom things. The lavatory is a lavatory. This is the flush. The blue button is the flush. You can hear that. Remember, once you have done whatever you need to do, make sure everything is released into the cassette, but make sure, particularly when you're going to empty the cassette, this slider needs to be closed. That bit needs to be closed. If it's open and you try to remove the cassette, you might get frustrated, pull it too hard, damage it. Okay, so please don't do that. Toilet seat does swivel, so you're not necessarily going to stick your knees against there, so you can get comfortable. Heated towel rail. Warning, heated towel rails get hot. Careful when you stand up from when you've been sat somewhere. Don't want to burn anything there. Okay, so cupboard space galore, more mixer taps. In here, a large wardrobe. I've already shown you the reservoir for the Alde fluid, but a nice big wardrobe. You've also got a wardrobe next to the shower unit. No, that's a big shower unit. I've been in hotels and had smaller showers, and that, trust me. And they're very, very useful showers. It's not just a sprinkle. It is a good shower. Finally, one other wardrobe, and that's where the freestanding table is. Okay. Right, being in the bathroom, we are likely to want to aerate the room. This hecky roof, very simple to open this. By the way, yes, there are blinds either side, blackout and fire screens. Hold, twist, and pull back to wherever you need to be, and then you're secure in there. But you need to twist it to close it down again. Make sure the lugs go inside, and never ever travel with those up. I made a mistake once, and it was shall we say, noisy and expensive. It was noisy because it was in a motorhome. It was expensive because it was in a motorhome. Right, the Omnivent. So the Omnivent, to open the Omnivent, twist and the flap will open. At that point, press on. Be patient with this, don't keep pressing it because it will confuse itself. Now this can extract air, particularly good when you're cooking, or in the summer, as long as you can cope with a loud fan noise, give it a chance. It will bring air back inside. Don't get me wrong, it is quite loud and it's not air conditioning. However, it is very worthwhile having. When you've got all your windows open, you know, the air comes through quite nicely. But again, remember, shut the vent. Again, this does have a blackout only. It doesn't have a fly screen because it's sealed. However, be aware that if you let that go, that would spring back quite quickly. Again, same principle as the vent inside the bathroom. Twist, pull, hold, twist, push it forward, but make sure those lugs go inside. Again, blinds are plenty. I think at this point, bear in mind this is the first time we've actually tried to do a video that I'm not holding the camera and looking like a numpty and making everyone dizzy by spinning around too quickly. I think I've got everything. However, I've just seen something. Carbon monoxide alarm in here. We also have a smoke alarm in here. The smoke alarm's near the door. Some people do get fire extinguishers, etc., and they think it's a good idea to try and put a caravan fire out. Trust me, if this caravan goes on fire, or any caravan gets on fire, get out. That is it's the only thing I can suggest. So thank you for watching, as always. If you do like our videos, please like and subscribe. If you've got any comments, if they're constructive, we'll have them. If they're not, keep them to yourselves. However, you can always give us a call, 01373 752 100, option 1 for sales. Probably a very good idea for me to say at this point that the gentleman who's actually holding the camera, who probably won't agree that he's a gentleman, but the gentleman holding the camera is Danny. He's come in especially for our new range, which is the Wild Axe motorhome range. I think we'll be doing a video fairly soon on that. So keep an eye open for that. So any questions about motorhomes, again, Danny is your man. If he's not available, I'm more than happy to help. Sean's also there. But also look at our range on wiltshirecaravans.co.uk. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. I don't know if we're on TikTok. Oh, yes, we're on TikTok, but none of the serious videos are on TikTok. There's certainly nothing serious on TikTok. But if you've got any questions about the van, do give us a call, or this or any other caravan, whether you're looking for a new or a used. We're here to help. All right, that's me signing off. Thanks very much. See you soon.